We are starting with the data structure in Java. The first thing you need to learn is array. So in this video, we'll cover everything how to declare arrays, how to access the element using a loop, and even explore real-time use cases for Java developers and testers. So make sure to watch till the end. So let's say you want to store a single number. So if you want to store a single number, you can say int number equal to some value you can assign. So this works fine. But what if you need to store the marks of a student in a multiple subject? Marks are also integer, but since it is a collection of data, right? So storing each mark in a separate value, a separate variable is not efficient. For example, if you have only one subject, then you can say int marks equal to, we have a value, alright? So, but if you have a 5 or 6 subjects, storing them individually would be messy. So this is where arrays comes into the picture. Arrays make all of this super easy. An array allows you to store multiple values in a single variable, right? It making, it easier to manage and access them efficiently. So now let's get started with that, declaration, how to declare array. So before that, we need to understand what is the syntax. So syntax for the declaration, right? You can say data type. First, you need to say data type. So, n number of data type you can add. Maybe you can go with the collection of integer data or collection of string or collection of float value, double value, right? Character. So, you can store any data type over here with the collection of data. So, first thing is the data type with the single square bracket, because now if you are going with that single dimension array, so I am going with the single square bracket. If you are going with that multi-dimension array, then you have to go with the double square or three square. Okay. So now let us start from the single dimension array. Then we have a variable name. Variable name you have to give. Any name you can give. Then we have a with open and close curly braces, right? Here we have to pass the value. Value 1, comma, value 2, and value 3. So on you can add a number of value over here. Okay, this is input value separated by the comma. So this is the way this is the syntax of declaring the array. Now let's start how to declare an array. So for example here, now I'm going to store the integer value. So I'm just starting with the integer data type, then with the single square bracket. You can give any variable name. So you can say number equal to, you can say inside that you can add a number of values. So for example, I can say 10, 20, 30, 40 or 50. So any values you can add. So this is the way you can add you can declare an array, right? So now if you want to know how many, elements are there, this is each element in the array, each values, right? This will be called element. So one element, two element, three, four, five. This is the way the element is there. So now I just wanted to know what is the length of this array, right? So before that, you need to understand how this is going to store, right? Array allows you to store the multiple values, right? How does it store the values? Arrays in Java use the zero-based indexing. So meaning that the first element is going to store it in a zeroth index, okay? And this is a second and third, fourth, fifth index. So this is the way it is going to store. Now here you can say this value, the first value is going to store it in a zeroth index, the 10 is going to store. The same way here, the first index, what is the 20 is going to store. Okay, this is the way the value will going to store. Okay, if you know how it is stored, then only you can able to access the value, right? So now if you want to access the third value, right? So I mean 30 if you want to access, then we can say, you can print number, right? If within the square bracket, you need to pass the index, right? If you want to pass the index, so this is 0, 1, 2. Now you want to pass the 2. So then it is going to return you 30. So let's run this. See, it is returning a 30. So this is the way you have to access the value from that array, right? Now if you want to know the length of this array, right? If you want to know the length of this array, length equal to number dot, you need to call length, right? This is going to return you the total length of this array. So what is the length here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 element we have stored. So now if you print the length, So you can directly, call this, number dot length here in the println itself. Then you can store it if you want to use multiple times, then you can store it in any variable also. See now, it is returning a 5. This is the total length of the particular array. Okay. So now here we have stored the integer, right? Now you can store even in the string also. For example, I can say string, same array have to pass company equal to within the same curly braces. String values always we are going to store within the open and within the double quotes, right? So you need to pass here only. Google, comma, within the same double quote. So always the string value we used to go this way only, right? So this is the way you need to store the value. Now if you want to know the length of this company, I'm going to store print directly. So company dot length. So now this will going to return you the total length of this company variable, right? This array, string array. So now here we have stored only 3 values. So it is returning a 3. Alright. So the same way you can store any data type. Now here we have given an integer and string, right? Same way you can store the character or you can store the float value, double value. So any data type you can store. Right? If you have a collection of data with the same data type, you can use the array. Now here this is the way we have declared. So another way how we have to declare. So suppose if you want to declare with that new keyword. For example, if I am storing integer array new equal to number. Here we have given a number. I can say number 1. Number equal to new. We need to say integer. So here why it's asking you the size of this array. If you are declaring that array, okay, now you need to mention that what size of the element you are going to store. You are going to store the 5 element or 6 element, how many element you are going to store. So based on that only it will going to allocate, right? Here we have literally declared that, all the values directly, right? But now here if you are going to declare in this way, then you need to mention like, how many data you are going to store. Suppose if you are going to say like, 5, then you can able to store only 5 values. Okay, this is fixed one. Fixed array. Right? So this is where we are, array we have declared that with the fixed size. Now, how we have to store the value if you are declaring in this way. Okay, now let's say number. So before we have seen how the value is going to store 0th index, first index, second index, right? The same way, here I can say 0. Number of 0 index if I want to store the value of 10. So the same way, number of 1. Here you can store the value of 30. Okay, number of, can say 3. Then if you want to store the value of 40, then you can store. So number of 4. You can store 6. This is the way you can store the value. Okay. In between, I am not storing any value for the index of 2. So in this case, what happened? Already when you are declaring an integer, by default value will be the 0 for the integer. So if I am trying to, get the value of number 2 index, right? Already by default value, 0 will going to return you. Okay. Now I just wanted to print the value of a 3, right? So you can say you can print number of 3. 3 means what it is going to return? It's going to return a 40. So let's run this. It is returning a 40. So this is the way you have to store the value and you have to retrieve the value. Right? Now if you want to print all the values, right? All the values from this array. Then what you have to do, you can go with the for loop. Or you can go with the for each loop as well. So now if I want to print all the values from this array, Then I can go for loops. For int I equal to starting from the 0, I less than number dot length. So till the length I need to iterate. Then I can say I plus plus. So here you need to print number of, see here we have given a 3, right? Instead of 3, here we need to pass I. Because in it, first time it will be the 0. So number of 0 value is going to print. So the next iteration I become 1. So the first, this value is going to return. So the next iteration I become 2. So the 2 here we are not declared, so it is going to return you 0. Then, by default value is going to return. So the next iteration I become 3. So number of 3, so this value is going to return. So let's see how it is returning. See how the value is returning 10, 30. See here inside that, the second index. We are not assigning any value. So that by default value, it is returning here. So this is the way we need to go with the arrays. Okay. If you want to know the size of the, if you want to know how to sort the array. So this is the way we are, assigning the values and retrieving the values, right? Now, if you want to sort the array, how to do that? So, for example, if you want to sort the array, right? If you want to sort the array, for example, I have an array of x equal to, we can say 2, 4, 1, and 3, 6, and 9. Okay, some values are there. I just wanted to ascending the, order, right? I want to print with the ascending order. So now in this case, what we have to do, array dot, we have a method called short is there. Here you can pass the array, right? The array is this variable. So now if you're trying to print the value, what we can do, you want to print, you can go with the for loop. Int I equal to 0, I less than x dot length, then I plus plus. So x dot length means till that it is has to iterate. Then here you can print x of I, right? So this is the array. Then we need to pass the I value over here. Now let's run this. So before that, I'll be making a one line so that we come to know which line we are working. See, now it's returning with the ascending order. Okay, this is the way we need to go with the arrays. Even you can achieve the values, right, for loop as well, and also we can achieve this using a for each loop as well. Right, using a for each loop also we can achieve we can get the value, we can access the values. Okay, so now we need to understand that, this as of now what we have learned is a single dimensional array, the one square bracket. Now if you want to understand, multi-dimensional array, I mean 2 array or 3D array or 4D array is there. But now let us understand one of the simple program with the multi-dimensional array. Here I have arrays I have declared. See, as I said before, now here we have a 2 square bracket. With that, maybe you can think like a row and column, right? Now I have an employee. 3 employees are there. With the 3 employee, I have given a 3-month salary. Okay. First employee have a 3-month salary. Second employee have a 3-month salary. And the same way, third employee also having a 3-month salary. Right. So now row and column. So now how many rows are there? How many columns are there here we need to say. So now here directly I have declared. Okay. Instead of with the new keyword, I am directly declare the values. I am initializing the values over here. So now I want to print, salary of the employee 2 and the month of the salary 3. So now here what I have given employee salary equal to double, inner loop and the outer loop. Here the outer array represent the employees. Okay. Outer array represent the employees and the inner array store their salaries for 3 months. Okay. Each dimension, in a 2D array needed a bracket, 2 bracket, right? First bracket is the row. It select the employee outer array index. second bracket, that is a column. It select the month salary, right? Inner array index. So now if you want to access this employee salary of, second employee salary for the month 3. So employee salary is here, I have given a 1, meaning that it is going to select the employee of 2. Since indexing starting from the 0, right? So now it is going to start 0 and 1. So meaning that second employee. Now we need to get the third month salary. So index is starting from the 0. So now I have given a 2, meaning that 0, 1, 2. Okay, this is the way we can retrieve the value. So let's run this. See, it is returning a this value, right? So that is a second employee, third month's salary, it is written. Okay, now this is the one way, only one value if you want to access. Same way if you want to print the all the values. So in single dimensional array, what we have seen, we can go with the for loop, only one for loop because this is a single dimensional array. Now if you are going with the two dimensional array, then you need to go with the for loop, outer for loop and inner for loop as well because we have a two count is there, row count and column count, meaning that employee count is there and employee month salary month count is there. So we have to go with the two loops. So I'll start from for loop in I equal to starting from 0, then I less than employee salaries dot length. So till that has to iterate, then I plus plus. So this is the outer loop. Okay, this is the outer loop. So inner loop I need to go. So I can add another loop. So int, we'll say j equal to 0, j less than, here the employee salaries of I, right? So salaries of I means the 0th, employees. Then we need to go dot length. Okay, this is the outer loop. Then we have to say I plus plus. So how this is going to work? So let's run this and I'll show you how this is working. Salaries. Here what is that? We need to pass two square bracket, right? So the first one is the row, second one is the column. So first one is the I, then second one is the J we need to pass. Okay. So now I'll remove this ln because I want the first values. I mean first all the values will coming into the same line. So I'll add a space. Okay. So once the first row is over, I want to add a one more line. So simple line I'm just adding. So I'll run. So let us run this and I'll show you how this is working. See now all the values is getting printed. So how this value is getting printed? The first iteration, right? The first iteration, it will coming into the 0, right? So 0 and 0. The first value 0. Here I have given a 0, comma 0. So this value, what is that value of 0, comma 0? This is the value of 0, comma 0. So this is the 0th row. Okay, you can think 0 and this is the second one. This is the 0, comma the next iteration. Inner loop will going to iterate. Inner loop will going to iterate. Till the condition is true, it is going to iterate inner loop only. So first time 0, 0. Second time 0, comma 1. Okay, so the value will go into print. 0, comma 1 is this value. So the next item, inner loop will go into iterate. I value will be same 0 only. So that, it's going to say 0, comma 2. So the next value will go into print. So all the value once it is getting printed, it is coming and checking the condition. Here the condition is met. Okay, the condition is false. So it's coming out of the loop. So now it's making a one new line and it is going into the outer loop. It's increase the I value become 1. Now the next iteration, right? Next iterations I become 1. So 1, comma inner loop it start from 0 only. So 1, comma 0. So what is that 1, comma 0? This value will going to print. So the next iteration I value is the same 1 only, but the j value become 1. Okay, 1 comma 1, 1 comma 1, the next value is going to print. Okay, so the next iteration, I is the 1 only, but the next value of 2. I mean the inner loop, j become 2. So 1 comma 2, the value is going to print this value. Okay, 0, 0, 0, 1, 0, 2, 1, 1, 0, 1, 1, 1, 2. This is a 2, 0, 2, 1, 2, 2. This is the way it's going to store. You can retrieve the value in this is the way. Okay, alright. We covered arrays, how to declaring and looping through arrays, and with the real-time example like managing employee salaries as well. So if you found this video helpful, don't forget to subscribe because I have more exciting Java tutorial coming up, including methods, array list, and collections with the real-time example. So thanks for watching guys. See you in the next one.